All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about peptides, and I'm going to be walking you through what to expect whenever you start the process, how the process works, at least how it worked for me, because here's what happened is I was interested in peptides. I received them in the mail from my doctor, but whenever I got them, there wasn't very good instructions that came with it. There wasn't very consistent information online about how to do it, how to mix things, how to take them. And so only after I reached out to my doctor and said, hey, I'm kind of confused. What do I do with this stuff? We got it all sorted out. So I thought I'd walk you through that process, what it looked like for me, as well as what my daily schedule looks like as far as the dosages, the amount that I'm taking, etc. This isn't any sort of recommendation on if you think you should do this. In fact, I'm on week 4. Part of me, whenever I started this process, thought that this was all BS. I thought that I'm either going to get ripped or ripped off, and I'm about 50% on which one of those it is. So if you're thinking about doing peptides, check with your doctor, your nutritionist, your priest, whoever is basically in charge of taking care of you, because that is not me. So do me a favor before we get started, though. Subscribe to this because I'm going to be doing a playlist specifically for my journey with doing these peptides. Partly because I looked around whenever I was trying to figure out if I'm going to do these or not. I looked for other like regular people, and by regular I mean people that aren't trying to sell it, that said, hey, I took this and I'm having great results. And there's just not a lot of stuff out there. Not a lot of people, regular people that ain't hawking it. Is that a word? Hawking? Trying to sell it. They were taking this. I would have liked to have even seen like no results, and there just wasn't a lot out there. So hit subscribe because I'm going to be documenting this process. I just started week 4, and so I'm going to do a few cycles of this and see kind of where we end up. I'm 46 years old. I'm on TRT. I've been on TRT for a couple of years now. Actually, the doctor that prescribed this mentioned this to me a couple of years ago, and we went the TRT route instead first, adding this in because I kept seeing it on TikTok talking about all the benefits and how great it was. Of course, I take it with a grain of salt because, again, it's people that are trying to sell it, but thought I'd give it a shot. So I'm going to walk you through what this looked like for me whenever I first got it, when I tried to figure out how to mix it, how much do I take, how much blah, blah, blah. So here it is. So I got the package in, and it had 2 vials in it. This one here says I still can't say it, bacteriostatic water, and this one here is the actual peptide, CJC 1295. Ipamorelin is the one that I'm taking. Now, whenever I got this, see, right now it's a liquid. But whenever I got this, it was all powder. And what the instructions said, even though they weren't very clear, I figured out you take some of this and you put it into this, which dissolves the water. And they sent even a big fat needle, and by fat, I mean fat. And at first I thought because the instructions weren't clear, this is what I was using for injection. And I thought, oh my God, I've really done myself over here. So you take this and you put it into this. When the water's in here, it dissolved all of the liquid. You just kind of spin it for a couple minutes just to get it all dissolved, and you end up with the actual water itself. But that part was even a little bit confusing to me because the instructions I got told me how much to take out of this. But it wasn't real clear, so I did a little bit of looking around online, and a lot of the people that are selling it have differences of opinion on how much you take out of this and put into this. So I finally just reached out to my doctor and I said, hey, here's what I'm seeing. What do I do here? And she said, no, actually, the number is this, which didn't match anything else that I saw online, so I'm glad that I reached out to her. So I used this big fat needle, extracted from this, injected to this, and got it all mixed up. So I had it all mixed up, had it all ready to go. Next thing was to figure out, well, how do I do the actual dosing? So I had to go to Walgreens and they sent me a prescription, my doctor did, for Walgreens for these insulin injection needles. Now I'm trying to show you the needle against the backdrop of my shirt, and you still can't even see it. For comparison, this is my TRT needle, which you can see very, very easily. It doesn't matter which side of the shirt I put it on. You still can't see it. So one of the big things whenever I tell people that I do like TRT is they're always very concerned about doing the shots once a week. And so something like this where you have to do it 5 days a week is going to freak a lot of people out, but you can barely see that needle. It's so fine. It's a subcutaneous needle versus an intramuscular needle that has to actually go deep enough to get to the muscle. This has got to go in your fat. It's got to be short or long enough to get into your fat. So I was a little bit concerned about doing this 5 times a week, but it turned out to be an absolute nothing burger. It's way easier than this thing here is. I feel nothing 99% of the time whenever I do this on the actual injection itself. I do it here in my the fat of my love handles. I do it before I go to bed. I'll also show you how much I do. I wasn't sure because this was also conflicting as well. Try to show you the number 10. Am I doing that the right way? There's number 10 at the top. I do 10 units. So you can see it's not this whole needle. It's really just kind of up in here. Whenever on Sunday night, because I do Sunday through Thursday, I prep all of them on Sunday night and then refrigerate them. So that way I don't have to mess around with it for the rest of the week. And then whenever it's nighttime, time to go to bed, I take one, pop it in, do the thing. It goes in very, very quickly. In fact, it was so quick the couple of first times because it's just water at this point that I wasn't even sure that it went in. Whenever I do my TRT, it's a thicker sort of serum, and it goes in a lot slower. So I was kind of shocked at how fast this, which ended up being great, but at first it was a little bit like, oh, did that even do what it was supposed to do? I checked myself to make sure liquid wasn't pouring all over my body. So I prep it on Sunday night, do it for the whole week, do it before bed. Whenever I do it, one of the things that I've noticed, and it kind of freaked me out the first couple of times, was within probably 30 minutes, usually 15 of doing it, I get very warm. And sometimes I can feel especially if I'm going straight to bed and I'm laying in bed, I can feel my heart like really kind of pounding harder. I looked around a little bit online and found that a lot of people experience this. So that, I'm not sure that means it's safe, but it made me feel better knowing that other people are freaking out about it or had similar experiences. And they were actually saying, don't worry about it. It just shows that it's actually in your bloodstream. So after those first couple of days, I don't really think about it anymore. So that's kind of what it looked like whenever I first got it. There was some confusion on how much to take, how often to take it, when to take it, and specifically, like, how do I mix this to even get started? But my doctor cleared all of that stuff up. So that's what you can kind of expect to be dealing with as soon as you get it. The only other thing that you're going to need, I think, is probably alcohol swabs, because every time that I reload on Sunday night, I swab this. And of course, every time I do an injection, I swab wherever I'm doing the injection site at. But that's it. Once I got started on it, the first week was a breeze. It's all been a breeze. It's essentially mindless for me since then, but at first it was a little bit confusing. So that's kind of what it looks like whenever you first get started. I think that the different peptides are going to require different types of mixing, certainly different dosages. Some people I've seen are doing dosages like twice a day. So all that stuff certainly has variables, but just thought I'd give you an example of what it looked like for me whenever I first got started. Again, subscribe if you want to follow along to see just some random 46-year-old dude trying to get a little bit better, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, trying the peptides. And we'll see after a couple of months where we're at. Again, I'm in 4 weeks now. I just did another scan, an in-body scan. I'm going to do a different video on that to show you what happened after 3 weeks. Were the results blazing fast, or was there nothing? You might be shocked on, or maybe not. Who knows? But I'll have a video for that uploaded shortly, so make sure to follow along. Hit subscribe if you want to see if this stuff works. Maybe you'll decide if it works for you or not. Maybe not. Hopefully my information helps. That's it. Thanks y'all so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Peace out.